Eat a dick.
Uh, oh, okay. I forgot about that. Okay. I don't know if that went on stream or not. This is a new song. Never heard this one. What's this? Jenny Solo. I'm so bad at this. This is K-pop song. K-pop song. I'd rather not get like an instant mute. Yeah, I'm not doing this one. Click. Okay. I'll go back to the thing. Where's my... Good luck, Spartan. Hello, thank you. I was messing with something. Let's go wait a little bit, see if anyone else is gonna come in. Maybe we'll play actual games. I don't know what we're gonna play, though. I say we, as in me in chat, as in I'm just gonna be playing. Oh, wait till 5 minutes in. Oh, God. Why am I so bad at this angle of strafing? Like, really bad. Ah! Probably do social skirmish, even though I don't have any challenges in that. I don't know how that works. Oh, I should probably do this, huh? Not as much as I've been waiting, but this also makes me use bullets a lot faster. I don't understand why I don't understand strafing. It's just moving. I'm, like, so bad at it. Get the head. Anything I apply here doesn't end up in the games because I just can't in my brain. Always one hit from kill. I guess that makes sense. I think it's a flip. One more minute. I stop gripping the mouse so hard. I was like half looking at something else. Oh. Walk into my bullets, please. Spawn into my bullets. Okay, let's get into an actual game. 3000 bit rate for this game is probably going to be really awful. Oh, into 5000. Okay. 5000 is okay. This morning it was a minute for wait time, so I was like, maybe I'll wait to play. I don't have any more. Gravity hammer, PvP, headshot, assault rifle. Okay. It's not bad. It's probably gonna be maps I don't know. My cat is like, please, why? Why are you talking? And I'm gonna end up yelping, and I have the window open because I need fresh air. Because I'm a hikikomori. A neat. Is there a difference between those terms? A hikikomori and a neat? And my voice is not extremely energetic today. But it's okay. Oh my god, I've never seen this map. Oh no. Well, I'm so sorry, teammates. I don't know what this map is. I didn't even look at the type of match it was. What? Also, you. Oh my god. Hill. Oh, wait. I've never played this mode. I've never played this map. Whoa. Wait, is this free-for-all? No. Oh, we have grenades. I've never played this mode before. Hikikomori just like that. They stay inside, but NEET is also like just on the net all the time. Well, NEET means not in employment, education, or training. NEET is not like related to the net. I mean, I pressed the wrong button. I've got to get used to the buttons. My brain. My mouse. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to do stuff. I'm sorry, friends. I'm trying to, like, brain. I don't even know.
Enemy team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready.
What? No, save me!
Team took the hill.
Okay. Wait, do we have a new hill? We do. Okay. I don't know how this game works. I don't know what this map is. This is kind of ridiculous. I don't know what Hikikomori stands for, though. I don't know what this game... I've never played this game mode before. I think I'm gonna blow myself up. I think I stickied myself. No, someone stickied me. Okay. Neets can go outside. Oh, can they? I thought neets also meant stay inside. So, social recluse. Oh. I thought those were interchangeable terms. I was incorrect. Boy, howdy. That was sure something. Oh, come on. I hit there too. Also, don't hide. What are you... I don't... This is a weird game mode. I don't know if I like this. Oh.
Enemy team scored. Hill incoming. Hill ready. Enemy team took the hill.
No, why? Oh, you have camo? Where's camo on this map? Where the fuck is camo? Hello? I don't know what this map is. I don't know what this map or this game mode is. No, I fucked up. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. I just threw those assuming.
Enemy team nearing victory.
How am I don't understand how I'm not killing anyone in these battles and we're not glancing off each other. I don't like this game mode.
Defeat.
I don't understand this game mode very well. My brain's already not working very well. A NEET can be a hikikomori. Then I guess I'm technically in employment or whatever. I'm self-employed. I do some work. Not enough to sustain myself by myself, but I do some work. don't want to do that again in case... Sort of non-Slayer modes. Well, that's the... Quick play is anything, right? Slayer objective. So this is just the objective one, but that's a weird one. That's technically it's not Slayer one, it is an objective one. That's weird. I'll do big team battle. It's more chaos, but you know. 3 people aren't depending on me. It's spread out between 12 people. I keep being conscious of like how I look and if I'm in front of the camera, but I don't have my model on. Because I was using it for the Tumblr streams. But I don't feel like using it right now. I wonder if it's because I went outside for a little bit. There's like pollen in my brain now. So I sound like a very... Well, I guess pollen wouldn't make you cough. I don't know why I'm suddenly dry-throated and coughing. I wasn't coughing this morning. Pollen brain. I mean, that is the brain. Sounds like code word for weed.
Eliminate the targets.
Boring old map. That's fine. I don't understand how any of the other maps work either. What's the objective? So Skier there, so it's just standard weapons. We're gonna have ARs, which I guess that makes sense because that's what big team battle is. I was so used to the yappening because those are fun. Why they're all defaults? Okay. I want in the car. Fine. I'll drive. What is the objective? Oh, Slayer. Okay, cool. We're driving us into hell. Get him! Did we get stickied? Oh, well, whatever it was, we're okay. We are on fire, but you know, we're probably fine. Fear us! This is my favorite way to die. Okay. Bye! See ya. Well, I did some damage. I only got 200 as driver assist, but you know. Air Forces. It means my friends got some kills, so good enough for me. Oh. Love Mark Assist. Ah! Where? Oh. Just jumped up and hit me, huh? I'm sorry, kitty. I'm sorry I scared you. I'm so sorry, baby. Where am I? Oh, I'm here. Why are you all standing still? Why were both of you standing still? What? Are you okay? Are you, sir? Sir? Okay. Alright. This is our base. Did we swap bases, or did I just spawn in the wrong place and I'm just... I think I'm an idiot, okay. We're not gonna talk about it. Oh god, we have a bandit as a secondary weapon? Yeah, get out of here, gross. Ugh. Disgusting. But also, hello. Where'd my bomb go? Finish him off. What? What? What was that? What the fuck was that? Well, there's this, but there's no one to drive it. Did we lose a lot of people? This feels like not the correct amount of people playing. Rain terror! Oh, my aim went really far off, but it's okay. Is he dead? Oh, they're winning now. Hello. Time to die. Nothing but it's gonna be me that probably dies. Oh, we can't have that, can we? Oh, but also... Oh, heck, I'm loaded. Question is, can I get close to anybody? What happens if I... Well, give me that. No, what? Through the hallway? Are you serious? My sword adventures died. Fitting music for my death.
Wheels en route.
Any of the weapons I ditched still over here? No, why would they be? What? There we go. Oh god. There's a lot of stuff happening right now. I'm surprised I'm not dead. Okay. Thanks for saving my ass. I'll take this. If you don't mind. I think it was my first actual normal death or kill. Are you gonna be sneaky? I don't care. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. It's not my favorite. I didn't even know this was up here. Oh. I'm gonna die, but I don't want this to live. But also, I hate this gun. Oh, look, our friend got in it. Cool. It's our base now. I'll get in, I'll get in. Hold on. Are we? No, please don't tell we're going up there, thank you. Sorry, my aim's bad, I'm sorry. Please don't. No! Sorry! Where's my button? That button. I'm sorry! I'm sorry. But I saw your death and there's nothing I could do to fix it. I still don't understand how the bandit works. I really hate it. Are we getting a... Oh, I see. Are you still in that? You are the gunner, aren't you? Oh yeah, that's from here. Yes, actually. Answer is yes. Oh.
Ground vehicle delivery confirmed.
Thank you. Okay. Anyways. Okay, give me that. I'm gonna die. But I wanted it. I wanted it really bad. Oh, get me out of this shit weapon.
Is about to prevail. Do not allow them.
Sword. A sword on the ground somewhere. I want this though. So I do need me a headshot, even though I don't think I can do it. Oh shit. I know I'm so bad at this. Okay, gotta kill. That's a needler in my face. I'm out of ammo. All I have is a shit weapon. I don't have any. I'm sorry. I knew I was gonna die anyways. I hate this gun. I don't understand how this gun works. I still don't understand how this gun works. Is that a sword? Are they like just giving out swords like candy? I don't understand why there's so many of them. Oh, it's not where I thought it was. Throw one there anyways. We're gonna lose, but you know, I want this.
Minutes remaining.
Gosh, that's an intimidating weapon.
When I click, it moves. Not very good at that. Not very good at this. Are you winning? No. We're close though, but no. We're about to lose. I need to figure out how to shoot without... without, like... Ugh. I'm so bad. Like, when I click with the sniper... my... Don't do that. That's rude. When I click with the sniper, my mouse moves. Because it's that sensitive to motion, because it's so zoomed in. I'm just like, god damn it. I need like a key to shoot. I wonder if I could do that alternate key to shoot. That would be weird. But it would kind of be interesting. I wonder, can I do that? I'm gonna forget that I've done this, but I'm gonna try to do this. I got like 1 kill with an assault rifle. I didn't. Oh, I got 5 kills. I'm surprised. I don't have to press that. Settings. Yeah, I don't need toggle helmet light. Thank you. So if I can remember, press T to shoot if I'm trying to shoot a sniper rifle. I don't think this is gonna work, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna play Fiesta. Just gonna jump around. I'm not really gonna get a headshot with stuff, but oh, hi, Mystic. I don't think anyone's playing Halo Infinite anymore, but I played it on Sunday and it was fun. So it's making my hands hurt again. Even though I have all the correct posture and things like that. Probably because I haven't been gaming in a while. I'm stuck at 79%. Oh, is my mic doubled? Did no one tell me my mic was doubled? Thanks. I don't mean that sarcastically, but my mic's been doubled this whole time. Alright, I need it not that, I need it on but turned all the way down so the captions can use it.
Fiesta.
Fiesta. Oh, it's a map. I've played this map like twice. I think there's roofers over at the neighbor's house, but I don't want to close the window. Hey, you also have a pride emote or badge. Good on you, you're my friend. What the fuck was that I just saw? What the fuck are you? Jesus Christ. What the hell?
Slay 'em all. No
Oh,
mercy.
a bandit and a hydra? Are you what? Excuse me? I'm sorry? Oh wait, this is Fiesta. I was... Okay. It's okay. We're okay now.
That last kaboom
Shit.
was my favorite kaboom.
How did I live? Oops. I suck. Leave me alone. Shush. Shut up. I was gonna be cool and then I was the obstacle. Oh, out of ammo. Back to the shit weapon. Gotta go pick up something of theirs. Yeah, anything. Give me something. Thank you.
3rd degree burns for
One shot?
everybody.
Okay, thanks. Can I have something else? Nope. Okay. Puppy! This is the death hole, if I remember correctly. We were just respawning and killing each other here, and it was really ridiculous. That was a needler. I had no chance on that one, but that's okay. Oh, they have sword. Angler. But also these assault rifles, good.
They have a sword.
They do have a sword.
Closing in.
Where'd sword go? Where'd sword go? I can answer that question. I thought I had something different, but that works.
Double kill.
I'm still listening, YouTube. Please, please, don't do this to me. Oh no, it's just the fucking... Okay. I'm okay. We're good.
Lost the lead.
I didn't think I'd get that close. I thought I was gonna juke it, but I forget how long it takes for like the grappling hook to do stuff. Heat wave is okay in a technical sense.
Let's find us some targets.
I shouldn't have engaged, but you know, I did anyways. I don't think I hit anything. Yeah, that was a foolish idea. I pinged them. That was about it, but you know.
Gain the lead.
Well, now I wish I was in the hallway with this. Okay. Still in the hallway? I would love to be in the hallway. At this point in time.
Grapple shot obtained. Threat sensors active.
Okay, get it, get it.
Halfway to victory.
The other thing I have is a plasma pistol. I love it. Okay. Sorry! I didn't deserve that. Ah! That's what I deserved. A sniper? Sniper all the way over there, huh? Is that why you're getting hurt by your friends?
Enemy there.
Where'd you point? That way. Okay. Okay. Do they both have swords? Oh, that was the same guy. Ow! That... There's grenades behind me. Bye! That was lag. Good amount of lag. He has a sword. 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 Oh, fun. Okay, good.
Splash damage.
Splash damage is fun. Splash damage is your friend. That's a sword on the ground. Hold on.
Everybody behind the wall.
Look at that.
Target spotted.
I'm not afraid of you. I am a little, just slightly afraid of you.
Nearing victory.
Spartan down.
I played Ring Around the Rosie.
5 minutes
Game over.
remaining.
Oh, that's a rude thing you have. Where's this area? We're all dying over there, so. I hear footsteps behind me. It's probably. Yeah.
Let's grab some cover.
Yeah. There was not much I could do in that situation. That was like a please hit, please hit. Oh. I see. Shoot! What? How did I not get that? He was right there. What was that? That was rude as hell. Good. Shit. Oh Oh no, we just need one more kill. I think I brought it back from this point before, so... I did it. I did it. Yeah. That was a sloppy last kill, but you know it counts. Oh my god, that guy just... what is it? What is he? My latest bar over my health, or is that in the right spot? I think it's in the wrong spot. But it doesn't matter that much. I didn't do the worst. There's that at least. I need to get a headshot and a gravity hammer. Fiesta's if I shot for a gravity hammer, but... 37 minutes. Huh. Oh, a big team battle Fiesta. I want that, but I don't want the King of the Hill. I should probably... I mean, I want to play with friends, but all we play is Fiesta with friends, but Fiesta is fun. Tactical Slayer. God, that's if you want to rage. I'll play one more game of Fiesta. Can't wait to see how my bit rate's dead. Yeah, we're at 3,000. It's gone up and down. Ow. Just chilling to the music. Toss mic grenades near targets in confined spaces to do maximum damage. Are you not supposed to just unicorn people? Isn't that what you want? You want to unicorn them in the face? That was some lag.
Fiesta.
This is a nice map, though. I like this one. Pergolator. Spicy icy. It's just spicy ice. A bunch of numbers. L2 player. You have some pauldron, sir. Where'd you get those shoulders?
Kill everything that moves and try
Where'd
not
I
to
get the
die.
shit weapons? Hi, they're all right here. Hi, there's a sword. Fuck, I'm... Okay. That's a grenade.
They're close.
I'm trying.
Double kill.
I don't know what happened, but I'm pretty cool. Ow. Nice booties. Well, yeah. Rocket launcher does win that fight.
Lead.
I got one of you at least. Oh, I was rewarded with shit weapons. Oh, hello. Oh. Um. Okay. I deserve that, but what? What happened? Why did he jump over me? Oh, I don't understand.
Closing in.
So Hydra does more damage, like... Oh my god, you take so long. This way, right? I want a gravity hammer. Oh, I need that, actually. Just gotta get a kill. And kill, which is... This is the best spot to do so. Ah! I'm in the wrong spot. Come on, I just need one. Just needed one. Oh.
Thruster here.
That's not what I meant to do, but you know. I'll hit him in the back. Yeah, that was the sound of death. Gravity hammer and rocket launcher. Wow. Wait. I'm not getting the best weapons for this bullshit. I didn't get that kill? That's rude. I know I didn't do that much damage, but felt like should have been more. I really wanted that kill. I got greedy. This is so nice. I remember when I hated the pulse carbine.
In my sights.
Sword, or hammer. There's not much I can do about this. I think that went through. I know you're here. I saw. I know. There's nothing I could do. Oh, my body. My body. Don't reward me with this. Why did we spawn where they are?
Double kill.
No! No!
Spartan.
Enemy halfway to victory.
Come on, he's got damage. Go for it. Do it. You got it. You got it, dude. Ugh. Why are we spawned so close? We need to stop being spawned this close. This is a little unfair. I had to reload. I wanted that extra kill. I didn't even mark them, I just really wanted it. Actually, this is probably better in this confined space. I shouldn't have done that. I should have gotten that. But I got it anyways. Still have a grenade too. I threw it away.
Let's find us some targets.
I hear footsteps. Like they don't know that they're there. They know that they're there. I'm just being an idiot. I'm rewarded for my idiocy. I'm not rewarded for my idiocy. You still have that? Good. Is that someone in camo?
Enemy team nearing victory.
Fuck you.
Spartan.
I think there's someone above me. See ya! You could hear me tapping that. I was already dead. There was no need to hammer me. Or at least not gonna get spectacular, right? I thought I'd get them with me, but I made okay, that was my fault.
Minutes remain.
I don't know, I got greedy. I thought they were by me. I just really wanted to do something. But they're, as always, on me. I thought, I didn't realize this thing had such imbalanced spawns. That was a hammer, but I don't care! I do care. I should have got that kill. Needler, please. I need space, which I should have given my spell space, but I did not. Yeah, this is a nice map that is kind of tight, but you do spawn a little fucking close to each other. Oh, I'm over in death territory. Nope. Nope. I don't want to be the last kill. I don't want to be the last kill. I'm the last kill.
Feet.
Oh no. Oh well. Flames. Double flames. Well, that'll be it. Just a little bit of Halo. Just a little bit of difference in my life. Alright, bye-bye!